How are we doing on a quorum?
Yeah, we got it.
Got it?
Oh.
Okay. Good enough. Mayor Navarro had a competing appointment, so I'm stepping up. I'm shedding my vice and playing the role of president for a moment. And let's go ahead and start. This is the regular August 25, 2021 meeting of the San Bernardino International Airport Authority. The time is 3:02. We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll start with call to order, which I just did. We'll start, and then we'll have a closed session public comment. Does anybody like to speak on what's happening with the closed session?
There are no speaker slips. The public was given until 1 p.m. to submit any comments via email for closed session, and I received none, and I see none in the audience today.
Okay, thank you. Now, legal counsel, you can tell us what's on the closed session.
Certainly. For closed session, we have one item scheduled, which is a conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D, sub 2, regarding significant exposure to litigation. And that item is Center for Community Action versus FAA, Court of Appeals, docket number 20-70272, and the State of California versus FAA, Court of Appeals, docket number 20-70464.
And then, Mr. Chair, we do need to call roll. I'll have the clerk call the roll.
Okay, let's call the roll before, and then we'll probably do it after as well.
All right, will do. Please state your name for the record. Members from the City of Colton on the line.
Dr. G here.
Thank you. Members from the City of Loma Linda.
Dusty Rigsby.
Thank you. Member from the County of San Bernardino, 3rd District.
Dawn Rao.
Thank you. Members from the City of Highland.
Penny Lilburn, and alternate Larry McKellen is in the audience.
Thank you very much. And lastly, members from the City of San Bernardino on the line.
It may just be me, I guess.
I believe
The
it
alternate,
is.
Fred Charette, here.
Thank you very much. We have.
I wasn't aware of my colleagues, whether they're going to be there or not. So here I am.
All right. I believe the mayor will be joining shortly.
So, Fred, which one do you claim you're covering for?
I'm covering for the city of San Bernardino.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep us on track.
Okay. So then we will recess to our closed session, and we'll be back afterwards.
Jennifer, did you know if Juan was going to be here or not?
He did. Oh, I put. So it's not my name multiple times. All right. It looks like we're back in open
We made it
session.
back.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have the report on the closed session.
There was no reportable action taken in closed session.
Okay, then we're calling the open session back into order. And we will start with our Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mayor Lilburn.
Would you please join me as we pledge to our country? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Are there any items to be added or deleted?
No items, sir.
Do we need another roll call, or can we be satisfied? Looks like it's the same attendees.
No, we're good.
So I think we're good. Okay. Any conflict of interest disclosures? Hearing none. We have some informational items, starting with the Chief Executive Officer's report. Mr. Burrows.
Yes, just a few updates for you. I'm going to let the pros do the talking on this. So first up is Nick Person talking about some good news with FAA. John Galvan. Sorry. I saw Nick here earlier. It threw me off.
He was not as good looking as Mr. Pearson, but
Your hair is pretty tight, buddy. Sorry about that.
good afternoon, members of the commission. 2 months ago, I provided an informational update regarding our recent FAA inspection that took place in May. Quick recap, the FAA inspection that took place in May was after a 2-year gap of normally an annual event. We had a gap of 2 years due to COVID. The inspection comprised of 2 phases, a physical airfield inspection followed by a records audit. As of June, we passed our physical airfield inspection without any discrepancies that I was happy to report. And our records audit remained pending as of June. Earlier this month, I am happy to report now that we received a closeout letter from the FAA with a 0 discrepancy on our FAA inspection under our records audit. So that's a big undertaking for our teams here at SBD, and I would like to take the time to thank those teams in particular that were directly involved, airport maintenance, airport operations, our team at Lux of Air, and our partners with County Fire. Thanks to their collective efforts from everyone on these teams, we are able to keep SBD FAA compliant and a safe place for our users and tenants. Thank you.
Great, thanks, John. And as our commissioners know, with over 1,100 acres of property and no discrepancies, that's no small feat. So well done, sir. Next up is Mr. Cousineau talking about bonds. Mark.
Short and sweet. SBIAA
I'm
successfully.
doing good now, thank you.
SBIAA successfully issued $4.9 million in tax-exempt bonds on August 12th through competitive direct placement and to basically fund the construction of the fuel farm expansion. And those monies are sitting with our trustee awaiting drawdowns as we construct the fuel farm. So, thank you.
And last but not least, Ms. Pritchett has just a brief update on our risk management, activity, I should say. So, Kat?
Activity singular, fortunate enough. The update does say personnel. We are in a perpetual hiring stage with the airport, which is great for us. All of our positions are posted on SBIAA.org, and we've just been building a terrific team. So thank you for everyone's support on that. The progress at the Sheriff's Department hangar from our July 3rd loss is still making progress. We're working with the insurance company regarding build-back. We don't have final loss numbers at this time, but we'll report back to the full commission when the loss is closed.
And that concludes our reports.
Thank you. Now we have the consent calendar. What's the pleasure of the commission?
I'll make a motion to move it. Second, Rao.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Lilburn and a second by Supervisor Rao. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then we'll proceed with the roll call vote.
Yes, we have a motion again by Member Lilburn, a second by Member Rao. Please state your vote for the record. Member Gonzalez?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. We proceed to item I-7, considering and discussing a facility use policy. This is a draft, and it's its first airing here at the commission, so let's take a look at it. I trust everyone has read it, and if not, then the rest of us will probably fill you in.
I read it, but I didn't see a redlined version, so I was just curious as to the substantial changes.
I thought it was a brand-new policy.
It's a brand new.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, the whole
Oh,
thing's
there's
red.
no policy prior?
No, there are other policies, but it was suggested that we do a concise one regarding facilities themselves. And Scott, you may want to clarify.
The danger comes in, there are some piecemeal policies that the airport has. The danger comes in not in groups that want to use it and are willing to pay for it. The danger comes in if a group comes in that is, and I'll use the phrase, socially unacceptable, and you deny them, then you have a problem, because you don't have a specific policy to point to that says these are the acceptable uses and these others are not acceptable uses. So I was asked to put together a policy which is comprehensive, and that's what is the draft here. And again, this outlines really what I'll term the guardrails of acceptable use, when it's acceptable, when it's not. Airport use, of course, takes priority if there's some airport-related use that's available. I do want to clarify one thing based on a question that was asked on page in the agenda. It's 43, but it's I believe the second page of the policy, paragraph 4, item number 3. It says, entitled "Restricted from Use," political fundraising campaigns are actually prohibited except as permitted by board policy. Well, the board policy outlines that political fundraising campaigns are acceptable, but it's very clear they have to pay for it. They have to pay the full freight for utilizing the room.
Insurance, you would make the reservation, you would go through the same process as...
The same process as any other third-party rental. Yep.
And so Monette, who does our events and does a lot of that, that's exactly what she does. She has a rate schedule. If you're a nonprofit, you're on one rate. If you're a for-profit, you're another rate. And that's standard operating procedure. But this kind of, as Scott said, tightens it up in one spot, and then it aligns with all the other operational SOPs.
I think it's a fantastic idea. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I do have it highlighted, and my question was there a special rate, or it falls under, so you're going to have a rate schedule specifically for the nonprofit, profit?
Yeah, Monette already does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you have this policy, that this policy was put into effect.
For the record, Member Navarro has just joined.
So is this a receive and file, or can we make a motion to receive this?
Well, I have a question.
As a directive.
Is this just a draft, or will it come back with a final?
Well, we actually teed it up either way.
As a final?
It is if someone has not had a chance to review it, you can bring it back at the next meeting for action. If everyone has reviewed it, you don't have any modifications to it, or if you do have them, you want to propose them, go ahead. But if you're ready to go, we actually teed it up to give you the option to continue on with the analogy of teeing it up, to swing away, or to take it for the next meeting. Up to you.
Let's swing away.
I'll second that motion.
There you go. Home run.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second to disapprove it?
To accept the draft as the new policy.
Okay.
Right.
Any discussion?
Effective immediately.
I don't see
Yes.
why not.
Yes, it would be effective immediately, assuming approved.
No discussion, then we'll go ahead with a roll call vote.
I'm sorry, I had a
Wait.
motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Rao, was it?
Wait, do we have public comment on these items? or-
I have no public comment, and again, public was given until 1 p.m. to submit emailed comments. I have none, and I have no slips in front of me.
Okay, thank you. Then proceed with
And I
the
believe
roll call.
the motion was by Member Charette and the second by Member Rao?
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. And please state your vote for the record. Members on the line, Member Navarro, now that you're on the line.
Yes.
Thank you. Member Rigsby.
Yes.
Thank you. Member Rao.
Yes.
Thank you. Member Lilburn.
Yes.
Thank you. And Member Charette.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The motion passes anonymously of accepting the draft as the new facility use policy.
Thank you. Now, item 8, awarding a construction contract. Mr. Barrow.
Yes, thank you. All right. I'm going to award the construction contract to AEC Marino Corporation for the Gate 2 relocation project in amount not to exceed $243,730. Summary of the project: this new gate will allow better airfield access and free up additional rentable space. This project is located at the end of the cul-de-sac on the south Leland Norton Way. Recommendation action: award of this construction contract to AEC Marino Corporation for the Gate 2 relocation project is an amount not to exceed $243,730 and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to execute all related documents. Funding for this project is included in the adopted San Bernardino International Airport Authority fiscal year 21-22 budget in the capital project funds line item 51808, an amount of $300,000. Little background information on the project. This proposed project, we relocate the current access point to the end of the cul-de-sac on the south Leland Norton Way. This project includes demolition of the existing Gate 2 opening and the construction of a new gate, including the relocation of all infrastructure to support the new gate electrical wiring, fencing, new concrete, and AC paving work. This gate is designed to ensure control and vehicle access by authorized airport users and conformance with the FAA and the TSA requirements. On July 27, 21, staff solicited proposals from 3 general contractors. 3 bids were received and noted below. And AEC Marino is the lowest bid at $243,730.
And I just buttress that one of the key benefits of this work is maximizing available ramp space because of how many aircraft we've got. So Mr. Gibbs worked with the team on a redesign, and this helps accomplish a number of things, but it ensures continued security of the airfield.
Did we have any history of breaches of this location?
Not necessarily breaches. We do from time to time have had, Nick, what would you say, hot doggers out there that may have crashed into the fence in a car accident, unfortunately, but no, nobody trying to hop the fence or anything, thank goodness.
Okay, is there any other comment or questions or motions from the commissioners?
I'll move approval.
Point of order, Mayor Valdivia. I just arrived.
Okay, we welcome Mayor Valdivia. And Mr. Charette has made a motion to approve item number 8. Is there a second?
Rao seconds.
Okay, we have a motion from Member Charette and a second from Member Rao to approve item number 8. Are there any other discussion points? Hearing none, we go to our roll call vote.
Thank you. We have a motion from Member Charette and a second from Member Rao. Please state your vote for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Valdivia?
I'll abstain on this item.
Okay, and thank you. And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. My question of Mayor Navarro is, would he like to obtain the gavel?
Continue, Mr. Rigsby. We're almost done. You're doing a good job.
Okay. Item 9, approving the form of an employment agreement with Mike Burrows. Mr. Huber.
Move for approval, Valdivia. Navarro seconds.
Okay, we have preempted the discussion with.
Best report I've ever given.
Yeah. It was even shorter than the closed session. Yeah. So we have a motion by Mr. Valdivia, and the second one was from
Navarro? Member Navarro?
Member Navarro. And we'll proceed with the roll call.
Thank you.
Can we have public comment?
We have no public comment for the record. Thank you. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member Lilburn?
Yes.
Member Valdivia?
Yes.
and Member Shred.
Yes.
Thank you. Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Now, item 10, reviewing the status of our action plan. Mr. Burrows.
Great. Well, we'll get the magic sheet up here in a second. There we go. So as, again, want to thank the Finance and Budget Committee members for their time earlier today, and look forward to, as Mr. Cousineau reported on, completing yet another successful audit here. But normally in August, we have what's called the Technical Advisory Committee. This is a group of industry experts that lend their time to give us as staff and our executive committee feedback. It's a good sounding board for not just industry, but some members out there in community roles. And that's normally sometimes during the month of August, but we have a very special opportunity coming up in mid-September where some of key officials from FAA's regional office will be joining us as well. So, you know, any information we get out of that will be reported, of course, to the full commission. And, you know, we do look forward to that. So we'll keep you apprised. And then, as Mr. Cousineau reported, we are 110% done with our airport revenue bump. So I want to thank Mark again for your diligent efforts there. And it is nice to be able to sit on this side of the room and you know, see what you guys accomplished and how little I had to do on that. So thank you. But our last bond deal wasn't quite that way. But coming up in September, we do review our capital plan. That's on the heels of the federal fiscal year, and we hope for more federal funding. So when you see our congressional and DC delegation, please encourage them to support the airport as they have been, and hopefully we get some good news on further funding of the runway repair project. So we'll be reporting out as more news comes, but that concludes my report.
Thank you, and that's a receive and file.
Yes, sir.
There are no added items. Is there any generic open session public comment?
Nope. The public was given until 1 p.m. to submit emails. I received none, and there are none here in the audience. I have no speaker slips in front of me.
Okay, any comments by commissioners? I hear no takers, then we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Rigby.